Hi, everybody. So today I want to talk about something that I think is something we all struggle with as parents. And obviously it comes up all of the time in my program, but it comes up all of the time in conversations I have when we're addressing how to get kids to buy in, how to get them on board with something new that we are trying to implement. So it could be, getting them to do homework. It could be, maybe like whenever people start my program or they want to start my program, sometimes their concern is, I don't know how I'm going to get compliance. I don't know how I'm going to get them on board with this or with that. It could be just, we've decided we want to make a shift with our eating or our food. It could be things like chores. We need them to do something around the house and we complain that they don't have buy-in. So I want to address something that has come up because obviously it comes up for me as a parent as well. I share many of the same challenges as you do. And one of the things I have really learned in recent weeks is that it's all about keeping promises to our kids. And this can be tough, right? Because we're busy, things fall through, all of that type of stuff. But I really have become aware of why keeping promises to our kids, for better or for worse, and I'll get into that in a second, is so important. And we've heard about trust, right? Keeping promises is important so that our kids trust us and so forth. But keeping our promises is so much more than just building that trust. It has such a bigger effect than we can even imagine. It really, really shows what we value, because kids will see or they notice all of those subtle things, and whether it's conscious or not, they notice the things that we are following through on, or the things that we are valuing, or the things that we are keeping our promises with. So, for example, if we promise our kid that we're going to, take them out for ice cream on Friday night if they do X, Y, and Z, and they know that, every time mom says we're going to go for ice cream, we always go for ice cream, then they see that mom values whatever maybe X, Y, and Z was, or that mom really likes going for ice cream, right? But they're watching that. But if they see that with certain things you deviate and you don't follow through, then you're teaching them that is not, even though you're saying that this is important, because you're not following through, you are not valuing it. So that's part of the whole keeping our promises. We know all about the trust factor, but it's also that keeping your promises is a part of being a good leader, right? And so if we want to have authority, and I don't mean authority like super strict, but I'm talking if we want to assume a leadership role and maintain that authority in the home, then we have to be willing to follow through. We have to be keeping our promises for better or for worse. And when I say for better or for worse, what I'm talking about is we need to be able to promise that if, you do X, Y, and Z, you're going to get this reward. That's the for better part. And also for worse, like what just happened with my daughter a few weeks ago. If you I don't know how many times I'd come home, the chores hadn't been done, schoolwork wasn't being done properly or not at all, or just I knew she was slacking and I kept kind of nagging her, and I really don't like that. And I had warned her that if this keeps up, she was going to lose her Spotify, which is life for her, for a week or two or more until things turned around. And sure enough, I had to do that. And I had to keep my promise. And it was really hard because she was devastated, and she's generally a really good kid. But if I didn't follow through on that, what I'm ultimately teaching her is that I really don't think that doing these chores or doing the schoolwork properly is of importance. But by me following through on that, I'm getting her to understand that I'm valuing that. So it's just basically part of being a leader, because let's put it in real time. We all are so done, right? With let's say the politicians who claim to be the leaders make grand promises when they're trying to run, but then don't follow through. And that's kind of how our kids feel if we make promises, whether it's for better or for worse, whether it's, I promise we'll do this, this great thing, or I'm telling you, if you don't do this, then consequence is going to happen. They're watching, and they're watching to see what kind of leader you really are. So basically it has to do with not just rewards, but with consequences as well, or what I like to use the word outcomes, because it really teaches kids I'm not just doing this to punish you, that this is the outcome, this is the result of when you choose something that isn't maybe such a good choice. So that follow through is so important. It's really important to set that line and to show kids what you value, because they are watching to see what you value. So if you're saying, even to yourself, or setting a tone as a family that from now on, we are not going to be eating, junk food, I don't know, during the week. And then 2 weeks later, the kids stroll in and you've picked up McDonald's for dinner. You're showing them that your word is not gold, that you're not valuing it. I'm not saying you have to be a perfect parent. I want to make that clear, because I know there's a lot of pressure on parents to do that as well. So I want to make that clear. But if we can, I feel like 90% of the time, keep our word, then kids will value what we say. They will respect us. They will see us as leaders, and they will understand that, wow, mom, this is obviously really important to her, because she's not messing around with this. So if you're trying to get your child to eat better and you're like, no, I'm setting this line and I'm sticking with it, then you're teaching them, I know that this is really important, and that's why I'm not deviating. Because the stuff that you budge on is the stuff that kids are like, obviously she doesn't consider it that important because she's budging on it, right? And we do the same thing, with other people as well. And kids watch and know there are certain things you don't budge on. Maybe you don't budge on, I don't know, no screen time after a certain time. You have to brush your teeth every night. You have to be in bed at a certain time. I don't know, whatever it is. But we all have things that we are not willing to negotiate too much. They're kind of like what we call red light kind of rules or guidelines. Let me know in the comments below. I'd be really interested to hear, what are the things that you will not budge on, that your kids know, like, mom is not letting go on that particular thing. Because the things that you don't budge on are the things that teach your child, my parents might be flexible with this, and this, but they'll, never budge on that. So really, if you want to get buy-in, you have to emulate it. You have to model it. You have to show it yourself that you value this enough to not only do it yourself, whether it's eating healthier, doing exercises, going to bed at a better time, using less technology, whatever the case may be, but that you value it enough that you are going to follow through, and it's not going to be loosey-goosey. Super, super important. Basically, you don't want to appear weak, right, in front of your kids. And I don't mean weak as in no emotion. I just mean you want to be, if you want to maintain that authority and gain that respect as the leader in your family, you have to be able to keep those promises, whether it's consequences, whether it's rewards, whether it's something in between, and showing what you value and showing up for that. So, let me know, what are the things that you struggle with? Because I know that we are all aware that there are certain things that we say, we want to do, we want our kids to do, and we kind of are loosey-goosey with it. It's all something we struggle with. What are the things that you don't budge on? Maybe your kids already know. What are the things that you want your kids to value, whether it's doing homework, eating healthy, or doing their chores, but you feel like you need to work on more or follow through on more? What are you struggling with that? Let me know, because maybe I can do another live to support you through that if there's something that's really you're feeling stuck with, and it keeps coming up. Probably it's coming up with not just you, but with a lot of other clients or people and so forth. So let me know what that is. And then also, if you haven't already grabbed the free starter kit, the laser focused learner with a couple food tips and some exercises to get started to help your child build a better brain. And this is where that whole buy-in part is really important, particularly for my clients, but in general, is if we want our kids to if we want to make changes so that our kids' brains can change, the first step is to really be able to get that buy-in, especially as they get older, right? It's not like the past where you can just say, do this because I said so. So let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.